everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri. Me. I'm Kerri Burns. I'm the CEO for Santa Barbara Humane, and I started this series as a place to have thoughtful and approachable conversations about animals, our community, and the people who just love them both. So today we have a special topic, one that I personally love, but these are pets that are usually overlooked, but can steal our hearts at the same time. And I'm talking about senior pets and pets with special needs. A lot of times when we say those words, people think, oh, they'd be too expensive, or they won't live as long, or I can't do as much with them. Well, today we're going to go through some of those questions and hopefully bust some of those myths or bust a move. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So we'll figure that out as we go along. Today I'm especially excited to welcome Sandy Simmons. She is our Senior Director of Shelter Services here at Santa Barbara Humane, and she has helped thousands of animals, and she brings such great insight for especially these types of animals and helps find homes for so many. And she's got such a big heart. As a matter of fact, she has some of her own senior and special needs animals through her career, and we'll talk a little bit more about her and what she does. I also want to bring up that these conversations are really important because Santa Barbara Humane, if you've not been here, we're building a new campus and we're looking at the future of animal welfare and what that means for animals in our community. So having these conversations just brings a lot of awareness to what we do, because people think, oh, I'll go to the shelter. That's how they think of us. But we're so much more. We have veterinary services, we have dog training, we have pet loss support, we have pet food pantry. We're really like a social service agency for people with pets and pets without people. So thank you for being here. I hope you learn a lot today. And stick around, because at the end, we're going to have a very special guest. Not that you're not special, but we have another special guest coming in. So whether you're joining us with coffee, tea, or whatever's in your mug, let's get started. Sandy, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
I love you.
You're so good at what you do.
Thank
and
you.
We are so proud to have you here at Santa Barbara Humane. So tell us a little bit about your role here at Santa Barbara Humane and what really first inspired you to get into animal welfare.
Yes, so my role here as senior director is to make sure both campuses are running smoothly, that we have animals for adoption, that our team is working well with those animals, and that we're providing them the safe space they need until they find their home. That's kind of a very short breakdown of what that is.
I know you could go on for hours with that one, yeah.
But as far as what inspired me into animal welfare, for about 25 years, I've worked with animals in some form. And 15 years ago, I decided I wanted to become an animal control officer. And that was after majoring in criminal justice. Animal control officers came in and gave a speech, and I said, that's perfect. I can work with animals and with people and really be the voice that animals need.
Great.
And it ended up transitioning into an animal control job, and then ended up promoting into different supervisory positions until I landed here after a break that I felt I needed. And then coming here has just reinstilled my passion and love for the animal welfare industry because of how well we do things here.
I love it. That's great. I mean, people wonder, how can I have a career in animal welfare? And there are so many options and so many ways to do that. And I love seeing kids come here because we do our education program.
Yes.
That we've talked to like 150 students last year. And it gives them hope on ways to really help the community and help the pets. So good for you. I'm very proud of you. So when people hear the word senior or special needs, what assumptions do they usually have?
I think that they are going to be short-lived. They're not going to have a lot of time with that animal, that they're going to be a lot more work, that they're not going to be able to train them, that it's just going to be a negative experience. And I think we have seen that that's completely the opposite, and you get so much joy and love from them. And I think there's a different appreciation that's given.
I think, and not to take away from the other animals, but I think the seniors and some of those with special needs, once they feel that extra love and kindness that maybe they've never received in their life, that the bond with humans is even more special.
Yes.
At least I'm a sucker for senior pets. These guys know that. So those are the ones that really grab my heart. So what actually counts as a senior pet?
Anything 7 and over, for the most part, is viewed as a senior. And I think different breeds, different sizes may warrant different ages for that. But here, especially in most places, it's 7 and over.
Okay, so what surprises people most when they do adopt a senior pet?
I think that they might have more energy than you were expecting, that you're able to train them, that you can just really enjoy life with them more than I think people expect. They think they're getting something that's going to be sedentary, and it's not always the case. And they surprise you in the best ways possible.
You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you the story about the dog that I have in a little bit, who is not her age. She's amazing. So, who makes a perfect match for a senior pet, and how do you make those matches?
I think anybody can make the perfect fit for a senior pet, because they do offer such different things. And we match here, especially by conversation, what you're looking for in a dog, what you're really wanting your day-to-day life to be with any pet. If you want a senior cat or a dog that is going to meet those needs, their age doesn't matter, basically.
So tell everybody a little bit more about our process quickly, about adoptions, because I think some people think they come to the shelters and they have to fill out all these forms, and they're going to come check your house, and they're going to, and you're sweating by the time you come in here, and all you want to do is take an animal home. So tell them a little bit about that process.
Yeah, we try to make it as easy for the animal and the adopter as possible. It's a conversation. So we're really taking the time to get to know you as the adopter, and then matching it up with the dogs, because we do know the dogs so well here. They get a lot of time.
And cats.
And cats.
We can't forget
the cats.
Cats are great.
But we do get to know each of the animals, what their likes are and what they're really looking for in a home. And so through our conversation, we can determine what is the right fit.
And I love not only that we have conversations with the people and just say, what are you looking for? What do you need? But we have trainers and behaviorists on staff that can actually grab a bit of that personality or who they are, or what would be the best fit for them. And it's just a wonderful matchmaking process that we have. So, all the matchmaking apps out there for the human, we beat it. We got the best ones going on here. So are senior pets more expensive?
I think any animal has a cost associated with them, as we know, food,
Uh-huh.
medical care. It depends, I think, on what's going on. I have 3 senior dogs, and they're not costing me an arm and a leg at this point in their life. But I think it really depends. But you can, with any animal, different ages, you can get unexpected expenses with them. But you want to make sure their medical needs are taken care of, and staying on top of their annual exams reduce any last minute urgent appointments.
Especially I would think with senior pets.
Yeah.
Just as we age, because I'm only 16, but as we age, it's imperative that we keep our health up and that we go and have our annual checks and stuff. And that's why our veterinary clinic, it's great, because when we see the senior pets that maybe have been through our system, we get to see them again, give them a little hug if they like that. Some cats don't, some dogs don't, but so we talk about sometimes puppies, and I look at puppies and I'm like, oh my God, or kittens. It's like, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of work. But, are senior pets actually easier than puppies or kittens?
I think they truly can be. They're more solidified in who they are. So you kind of know what you're taking on. And hopefully most of the time they're potty trained, and they've gone through the awkward phases of learning the basic manners and just how to be a good family member to you.
So tell us the story about, we had actually one of our staff adopt this beautiful cat, Kingston. Tell us a little bit more about this story.
Yes, Kingston came to us after having 4 owners, and he had been here for an extended period of time. And the staff member, she fell in love. She knew that she didn't want him to go through another home. She wanted him to be in his final home with her and her children, and he fit in so perfectly. So she made the decision to adopt. He had a dental, he had teeth extracted while he was here, and he was having a rough time, and she saw that, and she just wanted to give him that final home and not have him worry about another home again.
14 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When I look at the number on the screen, it looks like 74 years old. I guess that's human years and cat years. But they're all so special. And all of you, or any of you that do have animals at home, you know what they bring to our lives. And good for Kingston to finally find his perfect home, playing with the kids and enjoying the rest of his life. I love that. So, staff, anybody our staff are usually the first ones to go, oh my gosh, I want to adopt that one. And people always ask me, how many pets do you have at home? And it's not that bad. Don't worry. We're not hoarders. I promise. We all take care of each other with that kind of stuff. So what kind of routine care should families budget for senior pets?
I think primarily the annual exam, probably, which includes normally a blood panel, depending on what your vet suggests, and those dentals that animals do start needing when they get older are going to be very important to kind of follow up with your veterinarian. And we also, through our clinic, do really great low-cost dentals here, which are widely used and appreciated.
Yeah, and it's really important, especially for senior pets, for dentals, because we know disease can get through. If a tooth is cracked or it gets into the gums, it can go into the bloodstream and create kidney issues or different liver issues. So it's really important to have the teeth checked, just like humans. It's amazing how many correlations from the health aspects that humans have with animals. We just don't really think about that as much. So how do we here at Santa Barbara Humane help the adopters?
We do a lot of things actually prior to the animal being adoptable most of the times. We do take care of dental, we take care of blood work, especially when they're coming into us as an owner surrender and they're a senior cat. We do a lot of things preemptively, but other ways is through having our low-cost clinic options that are accessible. And I think that has been really helpful with a lot of people to see the cost difference and know that they can provide amazing care for their pet at a reduced rate. We're not losing quality by paying less money. You're actually getting people who really, truly do care and are providing care. So providing that, any behavioral things, we have our trainers because you never know. We want to help you through every aspect of your pet's life.
So Sandy's really good at this, and I'll give her kudos. So people are like, well, how do you get your animals? And the three main reasons are with owner surrenders for whatever reason. And I know none of us should be judging people, the hardships that they've got at that moment in their life. And we try to help them before the animal actually enters the shelter. Do you need food? Do you need medical care? Let us help keep your family together. So we offer those, but a lot of times an owner just has a hard time. And so we'll take in those animals. The other way the animals come to us is we are so lucky, and Sandy and her team did such an amazing job. We actually transfer in animals from overcrowded shelters. We transfer animals from our own county animal services. Today, we just transferred in 8 animals from, I think it was Fresno or Bakersfield area. We take cats and kittens from Los Angeles. So we're able to help out because of the way that we run our organization. We also do help the county out and take in strays. As a matter of fact, last year for them, we helped out and took in, I think it was about 420 strays. So the animals come to us in typically those 3 areas. So it's nice that we can help not only our community, but beyond. Let's switch over to special needs pets, because I know you've dealt with those a lot too. And I've actually had quite a few. Mine are usually 3-legged. Something happens, the leg gets amputated, and I end up fostering them. And you're like, oh, look, they can't jump as much or they can't run as much. Wrong. Some of them are just as crazy. They have no idea. But what does special needs really mean?
It can mean that they do have something as an amputation. We kind of say the 4th leg was an extra because they don't realize it's gone.
Right.
It could mean that I adopted a dog and she had a heart murmur, and we had one recently, a puppy with a heart murmur, but they could have different levels of needs. And we try to work through each of those as well. But anything that kind of, I guess, would be constitute as not your average healthy animal, but it could just be simple things and nothing that requires extensive care moving forward.
So does it get really expensive then, especially with special needs? You know, if they don't have a leg anymore, or maybe their eye was removed or something weird. I mean, is it going to cost a lot more?
No, normally when we're taking that step of removing an eye or a limb or anything to that extent, we have resolved the issue, and it's not going to need further care at that point for those issues.
But if they do,
we're here.
We're here. A great vet team. As a matter of fact, I think what most people don't know, and I'll give kudos to my vet team, we have 9 full-time veterinarians. And everybody just went, what? Yes, we do. We're also, what people don't know, is we're also a training hospital for vet students from across the U.S. As a matter of fact, we just had our first vet student come from the UK. So I don't know how word's getting out, but it's running, and we love it, because the more people that we can help and train and create jobs for the future, the better our community is going to be, and having veterinarians to be able to take care of them would be fantastic. What are the most common and manageable special needs that you see?
Here it does tend to be dogs or cats who have gone through an amputation. We have done single and bilateral kind of eye removals. We have done things for urinary issues where they maybe have stones or something to that extent. And I think those tend to be the most common. And it's either because we do get contacted by other shelters and even veterinary offices for special surgeries or procedures, or people who aren't able to afford the vet care within their
Right.
clinic. They reach out to us specifically because we have such a great relationship with them and they know we are here to help. And so it's really nice to be able to do that. And we do a lot of those basic surgeries that people may not be able to afford, and either keep the animal or we're able to reunite at times.
So briefly, tell us about a special needs or a senior pet that really sticks with you, because I have a story.
It's like my own. No. We've had a few. We did have a senior dog who went through the loss of a family member and was with us for multiple months. It was my office dog, and he touched my heart in many ways. It was hard for him, but he adjusted so well to being here and formed such a special bond. He is one. We've had a few. Like, I have a dog that I adopted that has heart issues, and she wouldn't be able to tell. She is now 2 years old and rules the roost.
Oh, she does.
It's just everyone that comes in here does have just a special place in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more stories than I could think of at this moment.
So my personal story, a dog had come in, 9 years old, had been backyard only. Her name is Hannah. I call her Hannah Banana. She had only lived outside, had never been indoors, had not socialized with any other dogs except for her two children that were 3 years old, I think, when they were surrendered to our organization, had not interacted with other people. And so they didn't know how she would even do in a new home. Kerri, being a sucker for seniors, as soon as she entered, into the facility, I said, "Oh my gosh, let me take her home and see how she does." So let me tell you about Hannah now. Hannah loves the couch. She gets in bed in the morning and says hi to me. She tucks me in bed at night. She goes down and sleeps in her own bed. She goes hiking with me. We went kayaking. She loves it. She goes to the dog beach. She loves people and she loves other dogs. Hannah had not been given the chance to be herself and really shine with what she does. And I have to say, she's almost the perfect dog. We actually use her to socialize some of the little puppies and stuff that are really nervous here. So Hannah's very special. She went from a life of knowing backyard and dirt to a home and a bed. And she's going to be with me to the end of her life, because we also, unfortunately, just found out that she has lung cancer. And at this point, there's not much we can do. So she has no idea. She acts like a 3-year-old, even though she's 9. And she's just going to continue, and I'm going to continue. The two of us bringing joy to each other's life. And I adore her for being in my life for that. So, all right, let's move on a little bit now and preparing for adoption. Is there an age limit for cats or dogs that actually come to Santa Barbara Humane?
No, we will take any age. We do take in a lot of senior animals for different reasons. 14 years old for cats sometimes, and even our dogs. We've had senior dogs come in, and they do really well because the staff takes such good care and fosters.
Yeah, sometimes the special needs are seniors. This is why we invite fosters to be part of our organization. And it's amazing to me. I will tell you that if any of you have not been to our facility, at the end, I'm going to give you some contact information. I encourage you to come out for a tour, because I think you'll be amazed with what we have now, and what we do and what we're going to be doing in the future. So our small dogs, for example, they get these little round beds because Chihuahuas love to curl up in little tiny beds, right? Puppies get sheets and blankets to play on because they mess up everything. Our senior dogs in their little kennels at night, they actually have little orthopedic beds because we have to be concerned about their bones and everything. And the other thing with all of our animals before they're adopted is every day, every single day, you and the veterinary team and the behavior team, we go around like a hospital and we do rounds and we look at every single animal and say, how are you doing? Not just physically, but everything about you. We look at the holistic approach of the animal and say, what can we do to help you feel better during your time here? So it's just amazing that how we go above and beyond what most shelters can actually do. So how do we evaluate whether a senior or a special needs animal is, ready for adoption?
Um, we do a couple ways. The vet team having their say, making sure all their work is done and they feel comfortable. And then the behavior assessment, making sure that the animal's ready and feels comfortable. And ultimately, it's their say too. We want to make sure they're ready to meet new people and get their little ticket out of here and find their home.
Yeah, I mean, people, I think, forget sometimes that if an animal's gone from one situation, no matter what that looks like, it could be a horrible situation, or it could actually have been a great home. Maybe someone just passed away and there's no one to care for it. And this dog or cat is expecting the same home. And then they transition to a shelter and they're like, what just happened to me? And then they're going into a new home. So it's a lot of transition that actually happens for the animals. And I think, sometimes that can be hard for the humans, for us to recognize what they might be going through at the time. So what should someone ask themselves when they're considering adopting a senior pet or a special needs pet?
I think it's where you're at with what you want from your new pet, and your expectations of that animal, and can this animal meet those expectations, and where they fit. And financially, yes, you want to make sure you can handle the vet care and any special needs they have. But I think it's more of that connection and that you're ready to be that person for that dog or cat that's gonna look at you and need you to kind of be their
So
world.
if you were going to look at like the top 3 questions you should really be asking yourself, what do you think they should be? For me, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not a runner. I'm not a huge hiker. So I kind of prefer a couch potato, actually, even though I sound like I'm out doing things. So that's something that I'd be asking myself is what, what is my life like? But what are some other questions truly that people should be asking?
I think it is that. It's what are you expecting? Do you want a dog that's going to run alongside you, that's going to sit by you, that you kind of give them the space to be them? Do you have a relationship with the veterinarian? Do you need our clinic? Do you want to take them everywhere with you? Is this an animal that wants to go everywhere? So it's evaluating your life and your circumstances.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I had a special needs small dog. And so I had one of those slings and I put the dog in there, went everywhere with me. No one paid attention to me. I couldn't understand. They're just like, oh my God, so cute. And I'm like, thank you. And they were actually looking at the dog. So yeah, some things I had to learn to redo there. But what would, so I know, talk about the 333 rule, whether there's senior, special needs, or just regular adoption with what we do.
Yeah, so we talk about the 333 rule in our adoption counseling, and it's 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months. It's really what to expect, and it can change for every animal. But the first 3 days, they're trying to figure out what happened, where they are, and it applies when they come to us as well. But when they go home, give them those 3 days to get to know everything and the surroundings and where they're now living. The next 3 weeks, they're going to start learning your routine and learning your expectations and what's expected of them, where they should be, what time dinner is, what time breakfast is, when their potty breaks are. So they're kind of putting everything together. And at 3 months, it all just really clicks. And they have a better understanding of what life now is and that it is their new life moving forward.
And that's when they take over the home and you start to run and go on vacation because they rule at that point. And then when you have multiple animals in the home, it's that time too that they establish who's what, when, where, and in this pecking order, so to speak, with the family. So adjustments can take time. We go by the basic 333 rule, but sometimes it can take a shorter period of time. Sometimes it can be longer. So you just give them that space and really breathe into that with everything. So what would make you encourage someone to adopt a senior pet or special needs over a puppy or a kitten?
I think it does go back to their life, what they're looking for as far as their pet. Do they want to go through the potty training, or do they want to start from the very beginning, or be able to give an animal a comfortable, loving place for the rest of their days? And they always surprise us with, we'll say, oh, it's older, it's 13, maybe you'll have, a couple of years, and then here we are 5 years later.
Yeah.
So it's never to expect, you never want to expect that you're not going to have them long. They surprise us every day, and we love that. But really just making sure that it's what you're ready to give to an animal.
Yeah. And for all of you that have adopted or just have an animal in your home, thank you for opening your hearts and your home to them. It's so important. We still have a lot of work to do in animal welfare, and it's with your help that we can continue making progress and find those loving homes that we need. So tell us about a special needs pet that found the perfect family.
It is my Tabitha.
Yeah.
She's not my dog. I would have taken her home if the inn wasn't full. She came into us. She was a stray running loose in Santa Maria. The finders found her, were trying to reunite her with her owner. Her owner no longer wanted her, and so they brought her to us. And as you can, she's a gorgeous Malinois, and she came in, and if you know Malinois, you know that they are high energy. They are very driven, but there's something that was so special and different about her, and all she wanted was the human companionship and to just be with people. I quickly took her in, and she would stay in my office with me during the day, and there was something so special. And there was a family I helped through the loss of the military service dog. And the son was very upset, obviously, and mom and I were in contact, and I realized Tabitha fits a lot of those check boxes for being either really good emotional support, a companion, or a service dog. And I reached out to mom, and she came in and ended up meeting her and fell in love, and has kind of kept her. But she is now the family.
Oh, darn, right?
She's now the family dog, and one of her other sons had a traumatic brain injury and is in a wheelchair, and Tabitha adjusts her interactions with him. She puts her head somewhere for him to pet, or on the chair. She's going to his walks, and she has just become an amazingly important part of that family. And she is so happy. She came here the other day to see me for a visit and was excited, pulled them to see me, but still was very in love with them. And so that was just such an amazing connection for us to partner them up together. And that's that matchmaking part of what we do.
I love that. And it's, again, you can just see when that magic happens, when the animal, we think we pick our animals, but we don't. They actually choose us in a lot of ways. And it's great when you see that magic happen. And you know that you have found that right fit. And it's just so beautiful. And you do such great work with that. I love it. All right, I'm going to get to the emotional side of things here. Have you ever cried when one of the animals was adopted?
Absolutely. Tabitha
Just
was
once?
one of them. No, there's been a few that, we do this, and it's so great to see them leave here and go to their homes. And it's always touching because we do invest so much emotionally and physically, and to see them get that story that they've been waiting for in that family, and everything we've been given kind of to be their permanent life, is just amazing. And Norm, we see it so often. You don't become numb ever. You just process differently.
True.
But I've had a few that I've walked away and processed that, because there's just no way around it. I think multiple staff members have had that here, where they see the animal they've worked so hard with find that person in that moment, and there's just no way to not have an emotional response.
Yeah, it happens more often than not, and I love that, because it just shows how compassionate and caring the staff are.
Yeah.
And I love that. What moment reminds you of why this work matters so much?
It is dogs like Tabitha, and there was another dog named Dylan who was a Black German Shepherd that another amazing dog that was just left in a backyard and chained all the time, and then came here and was worked with and is now in that home. And I think being able to see these animals who struggle at the beginning and don't have somebody who loves and cares for them, and seeing them in this environment learn that, and then seeing them be able to go home and continue to learn what love is in a safe place is always going to be.
I think the most recent ones for me is, and this one's tough because you want animals to come around quickly, and sometimes you can't understand. We had 4 dogs come in from a hoarding case, and hoarding cases can be absolutely horrific. A lot of them sometimes have never seen the day of light. They've never been outdoors. They're stuck in a small area. It smells. Their skin and their fur is so matted. It's like somebody twisting your hair. And when we shaved these dogs down, they were so bruised because of the environment they were in. They came here. They each got their own bed, their own bowl of food, their own water, their own space. And it's taking a long time for them to actually say, do I trust you or not? And for example, yesterday, I walked up and I noticed one of them was in the office with one of the staff just getting petted. And I'm like, what a journey. What a lovely journey to go from, this environment that's horrific to finding hands of love. And I can't wait. These dogs will take a little bit longer, and we are happy to spend the time with them to bring out the best that they can be. They might always not be that. They might not come out and be like, woo, I'm a happy dog and tail wagging. They just might be like, I am so good just to exist and not be fearful. And for them, that's a great life. So a lot of times we can't have expectations. We have to let the animals just be and enjoy where they are. So it's amazing. All right. We're going to move on to something fun here. This is called the Mythbusting lightning round. So this is going to be a myth or fact.
Yes.
You ready?
Let's do this.
Okay. Let me see. Should I get my glasses on? All right. Myth or fact? Senior pets don't bond with new families.
Myth.
All right. Older pets can't learn new tricks.
Definitely a myth.
What about with humans?
We sometimes can learn new tricks.
I think humans are just stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't know. A 3-legged dog can live a full, active life.
Fact.
All right. Love it. Special needs pets aren't playful.
Myth.
All right. Senior pets don't get adopted.
Myth.
This is why we're having this conversation. Of course it's a myth. If y'all can't answer these right, then come have a conversation with me. Okay, a special needs cat with FIV, and we're going to talk about what that is real quick, can still have an excellent quality of life.
Fact.
So cats come in, and these are kind of special needs. Cats come in, and sometimes you'll see signs if you've ever been to our shelter, and it says, this is an FIV cat. Tell us a little bit about what that means and why they're considered special needs.
Yes, so they're feline immunodeficiency virus, basically. So their immune system is on the compromised side, and so they're more susceptible to catching upper respiratory infection or other illnesses. So to keep them safe, it's obviously vaccinations indoors, and also that helps prevent the spread to other healthy cats. But they live a long, healthy life as long as we are keeping them safe and being their advocate. So the indoors part of that is so important.
Indoor only.
The vaccines. And then, of course, if you have other cats that have that, that's great. They can, it's best to keep them either as a single cat or with other cats, but knowing kind of what the risk is.
You can other cats that have
FIV.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, or you can talk with your veterinarian and see what what they think of bringing in an FIV positive with a cat that does not have FIV.
Yeah. It used to be a thing, and now it's not a thing. So, FIV cats are great. Okay, let's go back. One last myth or fact question. An older or special needs pet could be your next perfect family member.
Fact. You too could have a senior pet or a special needs pet.
Love it. Hey, I'm going to pause right here for a minute. I think we have a special guest coming in, hopefully. Let's see. I think we have Diva here. No?
Yeah.
Diva.
There
Diva.
she is.
Hi. morning. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, look at this beautiful hi baby.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Diva.
Diva is a 6-month-old Chihuahua mix. She came to us with a broken leg. The family, unfortunately, was not able to provide kind of care and the follow-up care that she needs. And so the clinic had the conversation and they made the decision to surrender her to us so we can help her find her new home and continue to give her the treatment that she needs for this leg. If it turns out she needs an amputation, we provide that for her. And obviously she's going to be just fine. She's still got a lot of energy having a leg that is nice and bandaged. She has a splint on now, and we're keeping it as secure as possible. But this kind of is what we would consider a special needs, and it isn't too stressful. Just wanting to keep her calm and fun at some times, and reducing some of that stress that can happen because of some limit. But
so
she's
as
great.
a 6-month-old, though, she can still have some bone growth.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So with a broken leg, being special needs, bone growth, depends on how it shapes up and grows together. So in the future, there could be some more limitations. In the far future, there could be, again, a lot of it could be, some arthritis that sets in that area because, that bone has been stressed and broken. So there's just different things to keep in mind. You probably don't want her jumping off the couch right away. But she is available for adoption, and she's so cute.
And our medical team is great. They do x-ray all the other limbs if we're making an amputation decision to make sure that everything looks good. And they do their due diligence to make sure that's the option needed and everything is set for that.
So if you adopt Diva, you get the cast for free.
We'll sign it.
You could do that. And sometimes they put different colors on them. I love that. Yeah. All right, let's look ahead for a second here. You just keep wagging your tail. What gives you hope about the future for senior and special needs pets?
I think it's knowing that people are understanding more about what that means, and also what we're doing here with having a new space that is going to be so much more comfortable for them, and expanding our veterinary services, which means we can give even better care than we already do. And I think we're in a really great spot to be able to provide that for the community and the animals in it.
So as we prepare for our new campus, and again, our new campus is going to be amazing. It's not going to be that sad shelter that everyone thinks about. What excites you most about all the improvements and the experiences that will be in our new campus?
It's really what it means for the animals in this community and the community as a whole, and the team members that work here. It's going to provide a much more comfortable and positive living space for the animals while they're with us. The staff is going to be able to provide more all around the enrichment aspect that it's bringing, and the clinic for the medical care that we already do such a great job with. We can expand that as well.
Can't wait for this to be done, and the community, you can be a part of our new campus, and we'll talk about that more at the end and how to get involved. Okay, we're going to enter the live Q&A portion. So if you have questions, submit the questions through your Zoom chat, and just make sure it goes to the host, Santa Barbara Humane, and we'd love to hear any questions that you have or different ideas. And let's see what we can answer here, and if they actually listen to us throughout this, right? So go ahead. Oh, here's one. Can first-time pet owners adopt a senior? Well, that's a good one.
Absolutely. I think sometimes it is almost easier. Like I said, they kind of come with some foundations that you just maybe have to brush up on, but I think they're a great option.
Yeah, sometimes they're easier, and especially if they come from a home where we know a little bit about the pet, and we can pass that on. It's sometimes can be a really, really good choice. So, great question. We've got some more coming in here, I think. Let's see. Oh, can senior pets live with younger pets?
Absolutely. My dog that I have that's now 2 I had her since she was 2 months old, and my dogs were 8, 10, and 12 at the time. So, and they play with her. She kind of brings some vivaciousness to the household, some fun energy that they all, I think, thrive off of. So it's kind of a nice balance. And she's learned the best and maybe not all the positive traits from them, but she's able to kind of duplicate them a little bit, which is really nice.
Yeah, oh, I love that. That's when Hannah comes to work with me every day. She's sleeping now in the other office, but she comes and plays with the puppies, so it keeps her young. God, these are great questions. What if I work during the day?
That is
just quit your job.
Fun. Yeah,
just
stay at home dog parent. Yeah, it's. I mean, we all do, and the dogs. You know, you set up proper systems for them. Maybe you have a dog walker. If you feel that it needs a midday walker, you're able to go home at lunch. But I think looking into crate training until they're comfortable within the house, and you know they're not going to get into trouble, is a great option. But I think even when you have a puppy, you have to work. So figuring out the balance of that is really important. But you can have a dog with no matter what you do.
Oh, I have to. Oh gosh, these are great. Can children thrive with special needs pets?
Yes, I think it's always
Tell them about Azure.
Oh yes, we had Azure, who was a deaf puppy and ended up being adopted by a family who had a deaf child. So it was able to be they bonded on that sense and live very well together. And we do have the senior puppies, and as long as they're dogs and cats, and as long as they're comfortable with children, they do great. They learn some tenderness from children to animals as well. They learn how to be gentle and kind, and I think it's just a great benefit for humans and animals.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should I adopt 2 senior pets together?
Absolutely, if that's the decision. Some are bonded. We have cats that have grown up their whole life together, and if it's a bonded senior pet, absolutely. I think it's such a great ability to give 2 senior pets the chance to stay together.
I think we get a lot more bonded senior cats because it's usually cats that have lived in a household and their owner has passed away than we do dogs. Really,
yes.
we don't see that as much, but it does happen. So these are some great questions coming in. I appreciate it. So we're going to give you time. If you think of anything else, I'll give you my email that you can get a hold of me. But I want to thank you all for being here and spending your morning with us and opening your mind and your hearts to learning more about Santa Barbara Humane, about the pets in general, and really wanting to help our community in the understanding. So you having this awareness now of what we do, you can help to tell the story to others and encourage them to come here and see what we do. We are currently in the beginnings of building our new campus because this one is so outdated. It's been here since 1960. And what a lot of people don't realize is we've actually been around since 1887, hence the gray hair. And we're a local nonprofit. Most people think we're connected with a national group, and we are not. So our community has supported us for 139 plus years. And so now you can be part of our new campus and expanding into the future of animal welfare. So I encourage you actually to get a hold of me, CEO at sbhumane.org. Sign up for a tour. I'd love to show off our place. It's amazing and fabulous. And if you have any questions, you can also send that to me, and we'll make sure that we get back to you. I want to thank Sandy for joining us today.
Thank you for
and giving us your insight. And you're so compassionate and you're so wonderful. And I couldn't be more proud to have you, on our staff. So we hope you'll join us next time with Coffee with Kerri, me, on Tuesday, October 20th. And this one's featuring Arthur von Wiesenberg from Animal Zone. And we're going to be talking about his stories and the encounters of animals that he's worked with, not only here at our place, but around the world, and all different types of animals. He's got amazing stories to share with us. So join us next time. That's October 20th. And we'll send out the invites. Check us out. Also, we'll post this on YouTube. Share with your friends. Check out our website, though, if you want any more information about who we are and what we do, sbhumane.org. Again, thank you, everyone, and have an absolutely awesome day.
Thank you, everyone.
This has been awesome. You're too cute. I can't stand this. So she's just going to go to sleep on me,
She
right?
found a nappy spot.
Adorable.